You keep rehearsing the speech that walks you out of your own life. You keep listing what you hate, what you can't stand, what you're ready to quit, as if saying it often enough will make surrender feel like strategy. But listen, there is somebody out there studying the map of your life like it's treasure. There is somebody out there who would trade their last wish for your worst day. There is somebody out there who sees your ordinary as their miracle. So ask yourself the only question that matters when it's hard: is this a problem, or is this an opportunity dressed up as a problem? I'm not saying pain doesn't hurt. Pain is fluent in every language. It crawls through walls and sits at the foot of your bed. It eats breakfast with you and rides shotgun to work. I know. But pain is also honest. It never pretends to be anything else. It tells you what matters without small talk. The job you lost could be the first day you finally start the work that fits your soul. The divorce could be the clearance sale on the version of you that kept shrinking yourself to match someone else's comfort. The bankruptcy could be the purge that frees you from buying approval on credit. The betrayal could be the clearing that lets new trust, truer trust, take root. You want to get out, I get it. But if you're going to leave anything today, let it be the story that says you can't. Perspective is the steering wheel of your life. If you grip it with gratitude, you'll navigate storms that swallow other people whole. Gratitude is not pretending the wolf outside isn't a wolf. Gratitude is knowing you still have a door to close, hands to lock it, legs to stand and fight if you must. Gratitude is the smallest prayer with the loudest echo. It turns obstacles into assignments. It takes the giant in your path and hires it as your trainer. Maybe you hate the gym. Maybe you hate the early alarm, the aching lungs, the taste of iron and breath and effort. Maybe you hate drinking water because you can't taste the accomplishment. I hear you. But there are people not here today who would sprint in socks over gravel for one more chance to run until their chest burns, for one more chance to feel strength arrive like sunrise in their muscles. If they had one more dawn, they would not waste it scrolling. They would live. So when you say you hate the weight, love the life it's building. When you say you hate the treadmill, love the legs that still move. When you say you hate the routine, love the ritual that builds you when motivation is late. You keep talking about the haters and the gossipers and the ones who left like they are chapters you can't turn. Friends, stop narrating their lines. Stop writing their names on every whiteboard in your mind. They tried to manipulate you. Learn the lesson, not the resentment. They lied. Upgrade your discernment, not your bitterness. They left. Bless the exit and widen the door for the ones who belong. You are not weary, you are wiser. You are not toxic, you are triumphant. A season has entered your life not to break you, but to build you into someone strong enough to carry the blessing that comfort would have made you drop. You don't need a crowd to begin. You don't need a path to lead. You don't need permission to breathe. From this day forward, this hour forward, decide that excuses have no seatbelt and fear has no map. Decide that the project moves, the dream trains, the heart heals, the body sweats. The mind studies. Decide to light a lantern for somebody trailing you in the dark, not alone together. We don't need unanimous agreement. We need collective courage. We don't need to trend. We need to transform. Feed a neighbor. Call your father. Text your sister. Volunteer for an hour. Hold the door open for a stranger like it's a sacred ritual. We're going to remind the world what royalty looks like: kindness, grit, service, honor. But when the music fades and your apartment gets quiet enough to hear the clock argue with your doubts, remember this life isn't done with you. Your dream is not a vase you dropped, shattered and over. It's a river dammed in one place, still alive and moving beneath the surface, waiting for one faithful swing of your pickaxe to break through. Mistakes are not the cemetery, mistakes are the school. They take your confidence and sand it down to courage. They teach you how to get up without an audience. There will be days you think the doors will never open. The call will never come. The money will never arrive. The yes will never land. On those days, do not negotiate with your identity. Do not pawn your standard for a little short-term comfort. Fight for the baby dream inside you. If it doesn't burn a little, it isn't a dream, it's a decoration. Real dreams heat your chest. They make you sweat while you sit still. They keep you awake for the best reasons. So get back up. Not later. Not when they apologize. Not when you feel inspired. Now, get back up, because sitting too long in self-pity turns you into a statue, and statues are the exact opposite of alive. Get back up, because quitting doesn't actually end the pain. It extends it into regret. Get back up, because someone is learning how to stand by watching you, and your resilience is their tutor. You think you don't have what it takes, that you missed the window, that you were born without the chip. Who told you that? Who sold you that sentence at a discount? And why did you install it like software? You have multi-million-dollar potential. Yes, I'm talking about value, not just money. Your creativity, your care, your ability to solve, to connect, to lead, to calm storms in conference rooms or kitchens. That's all currency. You don't need a dollar to begin investing it. You need choices. You need today. Maybe your childhood didn't come with a manual, just a list of emergencies. Maybe the people who should have stayed didn't. Maybe the help didn't arrive. Maybe the map was drawn with invisible ink. Good. You learned how to read wind. You learned how to listen to the ground. You learned how to make a way without a road. That's not a disadvantage. That's a doctorate in resilience. You can outwork most rooms not because you're trying to prove your worth, but because you're finally ready to express it. Find your why, the one that makes your excuses feel small. Maybe it's your child's laugh in the next room. Maybe it's your mother's hands, calloused from carrying everyone else's weight. Maybe it's a friend you want to honor, a promise you want to keep, a younger self you want to rescue. Goals get you going, but a why gets you through. When the alarm rings at an hour that offends the night, your why is the voice that says, feet on the floor. Let's go. You ask me why I obsess over craft, why I put in the quiet hours when nobody claps. Because excellence is a love language. It says to your future, I've been expecting you. It says to your heroes, I studied. It says to your family, I'm building something we can live inside. Become so consistent that you stop negotiating with the basics. Don't beg people who don't know your cost to set your price. Excellence is loud without being noisy. It speaks fluent results. The higher you climb, the colder it gets. Applause thins at altitude. Not everyone can breathe where you're going, and that's okay. Don't get angry. Get accurate. Know who's for you. Know who you're for. Love many. Trust wisely. Travel light. To carry the weight of your calling, you'll have to put some bags down. Some of you keep treating your dream like it's optional, like you've got a spare destiny in the trunk. You act like there's a net waiting to catch you if you nap on purpose for 5 years. Ask yourself a hard question. If you don't build this, what happens to the people attached to your obedience? What happens to the kids you would mentor, the employees you would treat like family, the art that would heal strangers? This is not about winning a trophy. This is about writing a permission slip for thousands of people you might never meet. Character is the secret, not talent, not timing. Character is the habit of doing the right thing long enough that it looks like luck. Be the easiest person in the room to work with. Not because you're scared to say no, but because you're committed to showing up prepared, respectful, and ready. Iron your shirt. Be on time. Learn names. Clean the space you use. Treat the venue like you rented it with your last savings. Excellence is humble. Excellence leaves the green room better than it found it. This isn't about basketball or business or art alone. This is about you, about the ecosystem of humanity that benefits when you're brave. On the days you don't feel like it, borrow strength from your why. If discipline feels heavy, it's only because you've been doing bicep curls with excuses. Switch hands. Pick up the work. In the second half of your life, or the seventh inning of your Tuesday, you can still change the score. Motivation will ghost you. Standards won't. Build systems that survive your moods. Stack your environment in your favor. Put the book by the bed. Put the shoes by the door. Put the water on the counter. Put your phone in the other room. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your preparation. And when you trip, you get back up faster because you already know where your footing lies. Fear is fog. It looks like a wall until you walk toward it. Confidence is not a speech you give yourself. It's the memory of promises you kept. Start small, start now, start with 5 honest minutes. The brain respects receipts. Show it evidence. Each kept promise is a stone in the foundation you stand on next time the wind howls. The point is not big or perfect. The point is faithful. Comparison is a clever thief. It steals your momentum by keeping your eyes on everybody else's lane. Their runway is not yours. Their network is not yours. Their wind is not your wind, but you do have wings. Use them. Stop asking the ocean to shrink so your boat feels bigger. Learn to sail your weather. Some days the breeze will lift your hair and your heart. Other days you will row. Either way, forward is forward. There will be seasons when life forces you to stop illness you didn't ask for, losses you couldn't imagine, blindsides that bend your knees. Do not confuse rest with retreat. Do not confuse recovery with reversal. Growth happens in the stillness, too. Bones knit in the cast, muscles rebuild between sets, souls settle in the quiet. Sit long enough to hear the whisper beneath the worry, the one that keeps saying, I'm not finished with you. Look back just long enough to give yourself credit. You forget how far you've come because you move like a storm, fast, focused forward. Pause, count the miles, count the pages. Count the times you could have quit and didn't. That's not bragging. That's building evidence for your future self. When the next challenge comes, you won't have to borrow courage. You'll withdraw it from your own history. When life grabs you by the throat and squeezes, don't panic. Panic pours gasoline on kitchen fires. Calm is the wet towel. Breathe slow. Speak a sentence that puts you back in the pilot's seat. There is a way through. If you have breath, you have options. If you have options, you have hope. Hope aimed with strategy is power. You don't need 1,000 strategies. You need one choice repeated. Choose the path of most practice. Choose the honest hard over the easy avoid. Choose the reps over the rush. The people who win once had a moment. The people who win and win and win have a method. They don't come back the same. They come back better. They don't chase aesthetics. They chase efficacy. They write their own story instead of waiting for someone else's 7 steps to save them. Write yours. Ink it with action, annotate it with growth. Include the parts where you messed up and made it right, where you fell and stood and limped forward anyway. Let the antagonist be ignorance, not a person. Let forgiveness be your plot twist. Let generosity be your climactic scene. You know that fight you keep replaying? The one where everybody thought the champ was finished. He got hit so hard the mat remembered his name, but the bell didn't ring. The bell won't ring for you either, not yet. There is still time to stand. There is still time to let your legs vote. There is still time to tell your fear you can ride in the back, but you're not touching the wheel. Stand now. Shake your hands loose. Roll your shoulders. Take the crown off the ground and put it on gently, not because you feel royal, but because you remember you are responsible for your gifts, for your impact, for your example. Average had its chance. You gave it years. It didn't love you back. It's time to compost it into something that feeds your future. We are not hoarding hope. We are distributing it one interaction at a time. We are not waiting for the world to change before we do. We are becoming the reason a corner of the world shifts today. We are going to speak for people who have no microphone. We are going to give second chances like we finally believe we deserved ours. We will be the interruption in someone's doubt spiral. We will be the person who shows up when showing up is inconvenient. Stop waiting to feel ready. Readiness is a luxury feeling that arrives late to the party. Discipline is the reliable friend that shows up early and helps set the chairs. Quit auditioning for the lead role in your own life. You already have it. The script is blank. Write with courage. Direct with compassion. Produce with persistence. Edit with grace. You say you want peace. Peace is not the absence of problems. It's the presence of principles. Speak to yourself like someone you love. Set boundaries like someone on a mission. Rest like someone who values tomorrow. Rise like someone who kept their promise yesterday. Be as kind to your future self as you are to strangers on the internet. Drink the water. Take the walk. Lift the weight. Make the call. Study the page. Turn off the noise. Turn up the truth. If there is one line I want tattooed on your day, it is this: your next breath is the opportunity. Not next year, not when they finally see your worth, not after everything is perfect. This breath, this sentence, this small, undeniable now. Stand into it. Push from it. Choose with it. The world may never give you the moment you think you deserve. Give it to yourself. The gate is unlocked from the inside. The map is on your desk. The pen is in your hand, and I am here not as a hero, but as a witness telling you what I know because I lived it. You can turn problems into portals. You can turn losses into lessons. You can turn setbacks into setups if you decide that your story is not over until the lesson is harvested. So get up, wipe your face, tie your shoes, power down the noise, power up the discipline, smile on purpose. Move on purpose, hydrate on purpose, love on purpose, forgive on purpose, learn on purpose, lead on purpose. If it takes 1,000 tries, good, now you have 1,000 data points. If you have to start small, perfect. The smallest hinges swing the biggest doors. If you feel alone, you are not. I'm in your corner. So are the thousands of invisible people who will breathe easier because you refuse to quit today. The rest of your life is not waiting at the end of a rainbow. It's waiting on the other side of your next courageous choice. Walk through. The giant in your path is not your assassin. It's your opportunity. Meet it. Train with it. Thank it. Outgrow it. And when you fall again, and you will, laugh a little, you're still here, you're still in it, you're still dangerous to the darkness because you remember the way out. Get back up again. Again, until again becomes your signature. Your life is not done with you. Your dream is not done with you. And you are not done with you. Not today. Not now. Not while there's breath in your lungs and light in your eyes and a world waiting to see what happens when somebody like you refuses to stay small.